Oh, sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This will allow me to report.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
Welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless and having things unplugged. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a live broadcast, well, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. If you like the live stream, click subscribe. If you want to support the show or support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one. Click on the Reaver store. Oh, almost overslept today. I'll tell you that. Oh, man. It's going to be one of those shows. So, today's Tuesday, another voting day for the primaries. It's Indiana. It's going to be a pretty important state. Polls are showing Trump with a big lead. Now, Cruz said that they're tied. This is also a man that decided to go talk to a bunch of Trump supporters. I think he picked the wrong group. And why I bring it up, it's just this one little aspect. So he's going on yipping. And he goes, you got to ask yourself one question. And out of nowhere, this guy that's been standing there all nice and quiet, just been standing there with a smile. And Ted Cruz goes, you got to ask yourself one question. And he turns around and goes, are you Canadian? Now, I'm not going to get in that whole debate, but that just was funny as hell. Just out of nowhere, the guy's just like, are you Canadian? Shortly after that, Ted Cruz walked away. You can see it was not that happy. So, I think the primaries are done 9-10 o'clock tonight. And from there, we'll get a sense of where we're at. And even if Ted gets his ass kicked again, he's not going to drop out. This man is like, he is ruining his reputation. At least that's my opinion. He's just, I don't know. Instead of bowing out gracefully, he's pushing it even harder. And he's pushing down these, okay, for the Cruz fans, non-truths. And yes, he does. I'm not going to go through and list every single one. I would be here till the rapture. Which, according to Glenn Beck, is going to be soon because we're now voting for Ted Cruz. And God told him. Yeah. All right, well, let's get on with the news. And Texas leads the nation in refugee resettlement. That's right. Texas leads the nation in refugee resettlement despite objections from the governor and a lawsuit from the state. The Lone Star State is now home to 2,677 refugees who have been settled in the state since October 2015. Hey, we had popcorn the night before. While Texas is followed closely by California, who has resettled 2,654 refugees, the next closest state is Washington, with about half that resettled in Texas. Washington, D.C., home to President Barack Obama and the State Department that managed the president's refugee resettlement plan, has taken in 0 refugees. The president home state of Hawaii has also not had any refugees forced upon their residents. 4 other states, Arkansas, Delaware, Montana, and Wyoming, have had 0 refugees. The State Department report attached states that the special immigration visa recipients who have elected and received U.S. refugee admission program reception and placement, damn, they come up with some of the weirdest names, benefits are not included in this report. While the report does not indicate the country of origin of the people counted in this report, the Fort Worth State Telegram reported that Texas has received 82 of the 1,285 Syrians who have arrived in the United States this year. Man, shortly after the November 13th, 215 terrorist attack in Paris, Texas Governor Greg Abbott said Texas would refuse to accept any Syrian refugees. Given the tragic attack in Paris and the threats we have already seen, Texas cannot participate in any program that will result in Syrian refugees, any one of whom could be connected to terrorism, being resettled in Texas. And the federal government is not listening to the states, and it's going to cause a big uproar. Why? Because the states are supposed to be in charge, not the federal government. But of course, then they'll just blackmail the states into submitting. And what do I mean by that is, well, if you don't do this, we're not going to give you any federal highway support funding. It's blackmail. 2 weeks later, the Texas Attorney General filed a lawsuit attempting to block the resettlement of these Syrian refugees in Texas. While Texans are compassionate to our core and take in more refugees than any other state, significant security concerns have been raised about President Obama's plan to admit 10,000 refugees this fiscal year nationwide. Attorney General Ken Paxton stated, the federal government stated an ability to run effective background checks on these refugees entering the United States from one of the world's most potent hotbed of terrorism puts all Texans at risk. Under the law, the federal government has a responsibility to consult with states in advance when relocating refugees and has not fulfilled that burden here. Texas representatives in the U.S. House also spoke about. Damn, can I not speak this morning? It's poor Texas. Poor Texas. They get hit with illegal immigrants coming in from the South. And now they're getting hit with Middle Easterns. And you know Obama's doing that on purpose. Texas was one of the loudest about the Syrian immigration. And now all of a sudden, majority of them are going into Texas. What might that be? Schlappy? It's listen, like I said, I'm a compassionate person. 25 years doing EMS, volunteer and paid both. But sometimes you got to look out for your best interests before you go running down the road trying to help everybody else. And that's what this is. It seems we're looking out for other people's interests than our own. Hello, Kel. How are you this morning? I think I might be getting a summer cold. Oh. But this is what happened when you have a president that doesn't give a shit about the states. More chipper than a woodchuck. Never heard that one before. It's this president's supposed to know the Constitution. Then he would also know that states have rights. They're supposed to be the ultimate power, ultimate say. And that's not how it's been going. Even CNN anymore, they're even backing the fact that, well, Obama is not exactly what he claims to be. He does not have the transparent government that he claimed to have. This man has been doing what he wants when he wants, and it's resulted whether he meant it or not, I don't know, and I'm not going to get into the he said, she said. Yes, it is. He's been destroying this country slowly. Lately, it seems like he turned up the heat on sending us into being a third world country. I don't know what the left have a problem with being leaders in the world. I don't know why they have an issue with it. It actually gives you a bigger government for them to spend on, more programs for them to spend on, like they like to do. And last night I'm working on something, and I was going through some videos, and I was listening to a Bill Ayers debate with D'Souza. But he was bitching, Ayers was, about the Middle East and how the United States keeps sticking its nose in and making matters worse. And how we're causing all these issues in the Middle East. And listen, I don't like Bill Ayers. I don't like what he stands for. But the man is not stupid. The man has an intelligent brain. The Middle East has been fighting for thousands of years. 1,000, 2,000, whatever. It was way before the United States even showed up that the Middle East has been fighting itself. Now, I'm not trying to justify all the actions of the United States in the Middle East, but the Middle East was fucked up before we got there. It was fucked up before our conception. And it will be fucked up probably a long time after all nations have changed over into new governments and we're flying around in space vehicles. They'll still be fighting each other. They can't seem to get along. It's not Britain. It's not the United States that's causing the problems in there. It's the Middle East that's causing the problem in the Middle East. Sometimes you go into things with good intention. No, I do not think we go in for money. We go in to take over resources. That is the biggest bullshit lie. Maybe not the biggest. I mean, I've heard some whoppers, but that we go in for the oil. We only go into countries and bomb them for the oil. How many oil fields do we own in the Middle East? We turn them all over. And this is a myth that's perpetuated by the left. But then they point up and bitch about the billions of dollars that we lost fighting the war in the Middle East. Well, if we got an income coming from all these businesses that we're supposedly overtaking, it'd be paying for itself. But it doesn't. Because we're not going into countries for oil. We're not going in there for the take over the rich oil land. We own zero oil land. No, we did not give it to the Saudis either because it went back to the Iraqis. And this whole issue that's going on in the Middle East. Yeah, we've gotten sucked into it. And it's not an easy thing to get out of. But I'm sorry, I seem to remember right after 9/11, NATO, UN, the world backed the United States saying, yes, let's go into Afghanistan. Let's go into Iraq. There's been problems in there already. We need to clean it up. We weren't the only ones that said, let's go in there. We got the okay of the world. And now everybody wants to be an armchair quarterback. Yeah, things may have got created from vacuums. Everybody wants to blame us for Al-Qaeda being birthed from the United States helping Afghans during the Afghan-Russian conflict, when thousands and millions of friggin' Afghanis were getting slaughtered by the Russians, and we gave them weapons so that they can defend themselves. We are the bad guys and created that. No, we didn't. It's amazing how everything's our fault. But when the world and everything goes to hell, all of a sudden, we're everybody's best friend. When they want to resettle an invasion force, they come knocking on our door. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying Catholic student, bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.1. Don't forget to subscribe after you hit the live stream on Reaver.1. Subscribe to it. And if you want to support the show, support SHR Media, go to Reaver.1. Click on the Reaver store. All right. I was having a little fun with the program that I use for the video aspect, and I was throwing in, the date going across screen. So I'm sorry. I was getting a bit playful. So, where am I? There we go. We've been talking. I got it on a little tangent about some other things, but for the most part, we're talking right now, or been talking about the resettlement program that Texas has gotten a majority of it. I have no problem being compassionate, but compassion ends when it comes to endangerment. And I don't give a shit whether you want to bring Buddhists, Hindus, atheists, Christians, Jews, Martians. I don't give a shit what your religion is. I don't. But because there is a issue with the Muslim aspect in the Middle East, in certain Middle East countries, there is a heavy terrorist population, and no less has openly come out and said that we are going to hide operatives within these refugees. And there is no way to really vet these people. So why? Why bring them here? There is countries closer to them that can take them in. They refuse to, but that's a different issue. That doesn't mean we have to then take them in. If you are not reading about what is going on in Europe, I beg you to start paying attention to what's going on in Europe, because it's heading our way and Canada's way. And Canada might be getting it sooner than we have, when Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of of Canada, sorry, I didn't mean to possibly insult anybody with that misstep. But his bright idea of Justin Trudeau is to end the war on ISIS, bring all the military back, kick them off of 7 military bases, and start bringing in the refugees and housing them on military bases. I don't know about that, Cal. Were you on when I made that prediction? I think you were. I'm going to even change it. I don't think it matters who the president is. Once we have a new president installed, shortly after that, within a year, and I know a year is not that short, but in the grand scheme of things it is, within a year, and we'll get to that one in a second, Cal, but within a year, I say we're going to get hit, and hit hard. I especially think not that Trump is directly responsible for it. I think they're going to hit, if Trump is the president, they are going to hit him to really, they love to hit targets that's going to make them cry. And if Trump's president, you're going to have all this crying in this country, and they're going to blame it on Trump, and they're going to win. They're going to be winning. They're already winning now. But Kel's telling me that Trudeau said that if you kill the enemy, they win. How much lead did Justin Trudeau eat as a child? That man ought to be checked for lead poisoning. He must have been eating a lot of paint chips as a child. Totally lost train of thought. I'm also still laughing. I don't know if you heard, Cal, but I got to tell the story again. And I should have done the soundbite for it. Yesterday, Ted Cruz decided that he's going to do... Oh, his mother was a doper. Okay, that explains everything. But Ted Cruz... Now Ted Cruz is starting to make sense now. Born in Canada... Sorry, Kel. But Ted Cruz is sitting there. He thought he'd be a smartass and go up and confront a bunch of Trump supporters. Now, there was a lot of back and forth, and the guy was not disrespectful or nasty, but he said some nice things about Ted Cruz, and Ted Cruz whined and cried about it, and, you know. But the main point is he turns around. And he's like, every one of you Trump supporters got to ask yourself a question. And there's just one guy, Kel, that's off to the side, very quiet, smile on his face the whole time. And when Cruz said, you got to ask just one question, he just nicely said, are you Canadian? Crowd lost it. Crowd lost it right there. He thought he was going to be a smart ass and, you know, really turn the tables on these people. Well, he huffed away. And he turned around and you're actually going to admit he's a Canadian? I wouldn't do that if I were you, Kel. I would not admit. I'd be denying. I can neither confirm nor deny any accusations at this time as it may incriminate our country because he is a dumbass. He's like, no, Trump would never come over to the crowd. Bullshit. He's done it multiple times. He called a woman up on stage because she was asking a question about veterans that can't find jobs. Called her up on stage, sent her over to talk to one of his managers, and was hiring her right there. Yeah, his not knowing, quote unquote, he had a dual citizenship. It was talked about before he realized that there was talk about it. He knew he had dual citizenship. He's a... I was a Cruz supporter. When all this started, I was against Trump, and I've talked about it multiple times, and I will say it again. I was for Cruz. I was against Trump. And again, me and my dad were talking about it, and my dad was rubbing my nose in it. Jokingly. I mean, I had fell for all the bullshit that Cruz did as a senator. And yes, I call it bullshit. Because now that I really look back without the rose-colored glasses on, everything he did was nothing but a choreographed dog and pony show. It accomplished nothing. It hurt really nothing. But it made him look like he was doing something. And the whole time, it was just a dog and pony show. That's wrong. That's wrong, Cal. I agree with you. If you're not in the chat room, you need to be in the chat room. I thought Trump was getting in it just for publicity, for a show or something new he was doing. And once I heard he had turned over all control of all of his companies, that he was no longer in control, that one right there put a light up saying, whoa, he's actually serious about this, Ron. And the whole time everybody's, oh, no, he's trying to help Hillary. He's trying to help Hillary. You don't turn control over your multi-billion-dollar empire so you can help a friend like that. You just, no, that's bullshit. And yeah, I don't think Trump realized just how far he was going to go. Nobody saw this coming, and I don't think he saw it too. But yes, now that he's gotten this far, he's not giving up. His ego's kicking in, and that's a good thing. His ego to win is really pushing him. But as things started unfolding, and I just started paying attention more. And exactly, Kel, exactly. Trump has always been a man within his business. He doesn't know everything. No, he doesn't. But what he does do is he surrounds himself with the top-notch, the best people that know the subjects. He's not stupid by far, but that's what he does. And that's what he's been doing lately. He's really been bringing in top-notch campaign people. He's been bringing in the best of the best. And that's what I think he would do as president. A president does not have all the answers. President only has like 10% of the answers. It's if he surrounds himself with the right people. And that's what we're having right now is Obama is not surrounding himself with the best and brightest. And it's been said multiple times because he's got to be the brightest one in the room. And if there's someone smarter than him, they're made to leave. He does not want to be made a fool. It's... More and more voters are waking up, and that goes to our next article. If Donald Trump has been winning over voters, and that is who counts. The only people left debating who will be the 2016 Republican nominee for president are professional politicians and the pundits they serve. Actual voters, they have spoken and moved on. Donald Trump walked away with 5 out of 5 primary contests Thursday night. What's funny is every Thursday we hear, well, if he wins this, he's gonna, he's the nominee. Oh shit, he won it. No, move the goal line. If he wins these, he's gonna be the no. No. And they've been doing this on and on and on. And for any other nominee in any other year, this kind of performance by the overwhelming frontrunner would put the race to bed. That's been said plenty of time. I have said it. It would have put this race, it had been done and over with. Mr. Trump is beating his nearest rival by more than 3 million in the popular vote. Surely it's closer to 4 million. And 400 in the race for delegates. And Trump says he considers himself the presumptive nominee. And judging by the Tuesday night results, voters do too. Before Mr. Trump's massive win in New York last month, he had not been able to crack 50% in a 3-way race. This is partly because the contest began with 17 candidates, but it is also because Trump had failed to coalesce Republican primary voters behind him. And the one thing I'm getting tired of hearing, he has only got 37% of the vote. That is one of the weakest candidates out there. The one thing when you're working percentages, there is a curve. He started with 17. There was a total of 17 candidates. And you're basing your vote totals off of that. And it's changed along the way. When you compare to other presidential candidates, they had less candidates running opposed to them. So yes, their percentage is going to be up. But when you look at the actual votes, Mitt Romney won in 2012 with a total of 10 million votes. Prior to today, Trump's already at 10 million votes with 9 states to go. He's going to break the record for, it looks like, for all time primary votes. But yet they still keep pushing this 37%. And you look like a bunch of jackasses when you do it, because all you're doing is parroting a narrative from these whiny-ass pundits that can't get it through their heads that they are not in control of what the American people want. And that's what, I mean, you got Mark Levine, you got Glenn Beck, Rush Limbaugh. I know there's like 1 or 2 more, but the main ones are Levine and Beck. They have been jock supporters. They're even past being cheerleaders. They're jock support for Ted Cruz. And they've tried everything. And nothing's working. And they're getting pissed because they thought they had control of their listeners. They thought they can twist and tell their listeners what to think and who to vote for. Fox thought the same thing also. They learned real quick that's not the case. Look at Beck. I mean, his empire is crumbling around him. And he was at, oh no, I just paid off $7 million, $9 million. Well, then why did you have to take out such a massive loan that you had to fire 40 people by a requirement by the bank? If you're not looking for debt. The man is a pathological liar. Glenn Beck is, he's a slime ball. He is a slime ball with his new little tactic he's using. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplansdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid crap.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sako as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplansdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. Trying to make sense out of the senseless. Oh, on some days I hit the wrong buttons. I gotta start going to bed on the right time. I was up late again last night, which then, but it's just so hard some nights to get sleep with these injuries. No, Kel, after tonight, there'll be, I believe, 8 more primaries. There's a total of 9, including Indiana. But yes, on June 7th, there is like 5 or 6. And there's actually some big totals. California will be on July 7th, which is 172. New Jersey for 51, I think it is, or 57. Yeah, there's still a decent amount to go. In fact, I got it up on my phone. I was looking at some other stuff. Next Tuesday on the 10th will be Nebraska and West Virginia for 34 and 36 delegates. On the 17th, this one that makes me wonder. There was that deal between Kasich and Cruz, which now Cruz is denying was ever made. And Oregon was one of the states, and it's only 28 delegates. They're going to do this whole tantrum thing over 28 delegates. Washington, 44 delegates, and that would be the end of May. Then we would go into June at California, 172, Montana, 27, New Jersey, 51, and New Mexico was the other state that they were going to split their campaigns up on for 24 delegates. And South Dakota at 29. Now, California, what I've been hearing is, depending on how today goes, if it doesn't bode well for Cruz, he's not going to have the money to put up a major fight in California. He has to win Indiana for him to find any type of financing. And Kasich, too, because they're starting to run out of money. These donors are getting pissed off. They are getting pissed off because they have donated like $200 million this year in the primaries to fight against Trump alone. And what did it get them? Nothing. They wasted that money. It's one thing to lose, but it's another that all this money has been wasted. All these TV ads and everything have not hurt Trump. They're saying that, last week, Trump made the comment that if Hillary was a man, she would only have 5% support. The only reason why she's doing as good as she is because she plays the woman card. And oh my God, the pundits freaked out. Everybody freaked out. Oh my God, he hates women. I'm trying to think, how does he hate women? Listen, if she was a man, she would not be getting anywhere in this. She is getting a little bit further because she is the woman. She plays the woman card. She plays all this shit to get what she wants. She's done it for years. How is that hurting women? How is what Trump said hurting women? I talked to several women. I said it doesn't hurt them. It doesn't bother them. They agree with the statement. But that's the thing. He didn't take a negative in his polls. His numbers went up. In fact, now the polls are showing that he beats Hillary in a general. That's why I got tired of listening to Cruz. The polls say that he's going to lose against Hillary. Well, he didn't tell you that he loses against Hillary in those same exact polls that he's saying, I'll beat. And please explain to me, he's losing badly to Trump, but he can beat Hillary? He can't beat Trump. That's like saying in a world championship game, well, the semifinalist game, Team A loses, but they've had a better record against the other team that's in the championship game. So even though they lost the game, they should still be allowed to go to the championship because they have a better record. It don't work that way. Cruz has been clawing and he's been throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, against the wall to see what sticks. and nothing has. And it's making him look desperate. It's making Cruz look bad. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm anywhere near an expert, but I'm wondering if Cruz can recuperate from how bad of a damage his reputation has taken. He's screaming and crying and pointing the finger at everybody and making himself look bad with it. I'm not the only one. A lot of people are sitting there catching on to it and going, damn, we've had a leader 7 years doing that. Do we really want another leader? Blaming everybody and anybody else? Cruz is now blaming the media. That's why Trump's winning. Not because he sucks and he hasn't talked about a positive thing in his campaign. He's been out there bashing Trump for several months now, and that's all he does. I want to debate him. I want to debate him. He's bad. And just stuff that's been proven false. He just keeps pushing. He just goes on these programs and yells at the host and tells him not to interrupt. Hate to sound like a broken record. You do that shit on my show, I'm pushing the mute button and telling you to go fuck off. Especially, and he's known for it, he gets asked a question, a basic question, and he refuses to answer it. And again, when the person says, Cruz, you got to ask one question, the guy said, are you Canadian? He didn't answer the guy. And that one should have been, no, I'm not. And went back to what he was doing. No, he just totally ignored the guy. Well, that just strengthened everybody's opinion whether you're a citizen or not. When asked if he was having an affair, he couldn't just say no. No, Carly Pizzaroni or whatever the hell her name is had to jump out there in front. I'll answer that. And a reporter even came around and said, no, I'm not asking you. I'm asking the senator. Do you know anything about his marriage? No, but I'm going to answer it. You know, I'm accused of sleeping around and cheating on my wife. And you ask me, I'm going to be giving you a hell fucking no. And I'm tired of people bringing it up. Hell no, I did not cheat into this story. No, he beats around the bush and refuses to answer. And, well, guess what? Because of that, that's why that story still has legs. Because, yes, later on, he came out and denied. That is one that you don't need to consult anybody on. That should have been a resounding no. He just, I don't know. And then the big one that they talk about is, I got more votes in my home state. Yeah, you got more Republicans in your home state too, Cruz. But you couldn't break 50% in your home state. Kasich couldn't break 50% in his home state. Trump broke 60% in his home state. So if you want to play the percentage games, Cruz did 44% in his home state. Trump came in second. Trump got over 60% in his home state. Cruz came in third. Out of those 5 states last week, Cruz was in last place in 4 of them. Out of the 6 wins from Trump, Cruz has been in last place in 5 of them. So you're going to tell me that you deserve to be the nominee? You're sounding like a liberal and wanting something you did not earn. You are sounding like one of these participation trophy wanting punks that did not earn what he has. And that's exactly what Cruz wants, is a participation trophy. All 5 of the wins, all 5, broke 50% barriers. In Delaware and Rhode Island, Mr. Trump broke 60%. In Pennsylvania, he scored 57%. If he were a regular politician and not such a profound threat to the entire political system, pundits would call these landslides. Again, the professional politicians and pundits dismiss these victories. They argue that since they were all in the Northeast states that Republicans have not won in a general election in 35 years, they somehow do not count. And that's what I find funny, is if Cruz does weasel the nomination, he's going to have to win certain states that Trump dominated in. He's going to have to win Florida, which he had a really shitty outing in. And I'm talking Cruz. Here, let's pull up the facts. We're going to work backwards. So he's not going to get New York. He's going to need Pennsylvania, which has been a very Democratic state. I don't think Cruz can win that one. Oh, I know Cruz can't win that one. He came in 3rd place. He couldn't even come in 2nd. Trying to find Florida because that's the other big one. In Florida, he came in 3rd with 17%. He got 400,000 votes in Florida. And he says that he could beat everybody in the general election when he can't win these states in the primary. How is he supposed to beat Hillary in those? All these swing states that they complain, that's a liberal area. You know what? Fuck you, because I'm from that area. There's a lot of fucking conservatives. What you're doing is you're pissing off a lot of the conservatives in that area because you're constantly trying to downgrade us. You're trying to downgrade your fucking losses. So your smart thing is to insult everybody in that area. Well, guess what? You would need those people just like you needed them in New York. But your mouth got in the way. People didn't forget that liberal comment. Yeah. You shot your mouth off. Now you try double talking. And you're still bashing that area. And if you were to weasel it, you're not going to win that area because you ran your mouth off like an idiot. I'm just mind-boggled that this person would be such a dumbass to shoot his mouth off, insult. You want to insult Trump? Go ahead. Candidates do it all over. They insult each other back and forth. But you're not insulting the candidate, Cruz isn't. He has been insulting the supporters, which then Cruz supporters then think it's okay, and they start insulting the supporters also. These are the same people you would need, you fucking mental midget. If you got the nomination, you would need these people. And they've showed you already they're not going to put up with your political apologies. You did it in New York. You tried weaseling your way out of your comment. You mental midget, you've been insulting the people that you would need. You call people in Indiana chumps that back Trump. Do you think that's going to get them to back you? Mental midget, dumbass motherfucker. It amazes me how stupid these politicians really are. And this is what I was talking about when I talked about lawyers. Lawyers are intelligent as hell in the field of law. When it comes to life, they got some downfalls, a lot of downfalls. Common sense of you do not insult the people you will need. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on High Plains Pundit Radio and SHRmedia.com. And I forgot who I was on for a second. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying Catholic student from.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, trying to make sense out of the senseless. And sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. Sometimes I feel like a nut, sometimes I don't. I like almond joys. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to SHR Media, click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, I have a live stream. Yay. So if you want to get a good laugh and look at my ugly mug, yeah, go to Reaver.1, click on the live stream, click on the subscribe. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to Reaver.1 and click on the Reaver store. Click. That's all you have to do. So, all right. Well, see, I never know when to listen to these politicians, Kel, but he said yesterday he's in it for the long haul. Now, we also heard how many candidates say that. In fact, the night before Florida, Marco Rubio said even if he lost, he would be continuing to go on. But when he lost, it was honorable. He knew he was beat. He knew it was time to fold. This fantasy of holding on to a contested convention. Thank God that the the Democrats are going through the exact same bullshit that we're going through right now. And I was looking through my Twitter feed real quick, and I found something funny. This has got to be a joke, but this person tweets, "Why is Trump afraid to debate Jim Gilmore?" I didn't even know he was still running. I thought he dropped out months ago. I don't even think he's gotten a fucking vote. I didn't know he had any supporters. Well, I'm telling you, he's afraid to debate. No, he is the leader. He is leading. When you're leading, you don't have to do that shit. We had 11 friggin' debates. 11. Count them. 11. I thought it was 12, but it was 11. No, it was 12. Should have been 13, but they canceled the last one. Cruz wants to debate him one-on-one so he can sling mud. That's all they want to do. They want to knock his reputation down. That's all. That's all they want. And if he wanted to debate so bad, Cruz, because someone else jumps in there, he's afraid to debate. No, he's the leader. He doesn't have to. We've had 11 debates, people. We don't need no more. No mas. If your guy couldn't get it done in 11 debates, he's not getting it done in 12. Period. It's... Hang on. Sorry about this. Actually, I had to tweet that just to be a dickhead. I put in there, they had 11 debates. 12 is not going to help them. They couldn't get it done in 11. 12's not going to help them. They're starting to sound like Democrats. If we put one more gun law in, the criminals will start paying attention to the laws. Yes, I'm politically incorrect. Anticipating this week's American row, the establishment had already begun moving the goalpost yet again. Now they say Trump must win Indiana to prove he could be the nominee, just as he had to win New Hampshire. He had to win South California. Then he had to win Florida. Then it was New York. He's won them all. Voters, meanwhile, have moved on. Moved on. What the hell is moved on? Moved on. Many who were initially put off by Donald Trump have either gotten onto the Trump train or have tuned out. Turnout numbers show that those who have tuned out have been more than comfortable replaced by new voters or people who long ago gave up on politics. Then I had some idiot. Well, he's getting liberal votes. 15% of his voting is coming from the Democrat. Is he a Democrat or is he a Republican? Oh, This is something that we've been asking for years, to win the vote. We need to bring over Democrats. We need the independent vote. Then we get it, and you dumb fucks complain about it. How the hell do you complain about getting what you asked for? Window licking dumbasses. Helmet wearing window licker dumbasses, no less. We've been talking about how we need to get some Democrat vote, how we need the independent vote. How do you think the Democrats do it? They speak enough sense that they convert the independents. They even get a few liberal Republicans to come over. We have a guy that's pulling over Democrats, the Reagan Democrats that are unhappy with this progressive movement in their party. He's pulling over independents and giving us huge numbers. And you window-licking, helmet-wearing morons complain about it. Oh, my God. I understand supporting your candidate, but being a dumbass at the same time is another thing. The nuances of American elections are hard to absorb. It really is. And it's made harder, Kel, than it should be. And they purposely do it to try to keep... They don't want people like me understanding. They don't want people, the everyday people, understanding. They just want them following blindly. Just like the Democrats, they want blind following pigeons. Well, a lot of the Republican Party, and there's Democrats now coming out and said, you know, we're tired of it. They tried to do the following with Obama. You know what? They bought his bullshit. They're waking up, 7 years a little late. But you know what? They're waking up. I don't understand this. We're getting people coming over to the Republican Party. And what are we doing? We're kicking them. And we're going to turn them around and send them back to the Democrat Party. Never, never, never to come back. Because your candidate is losing. So, I swear, these people, the last of the Cruz supporters, are the same ones that are the Ron Paul bots. The ones that cause destruction like locusts in their path in 2012. It seems like they're the same ones that are trying to destroy a path in 2016. They don't care about the country. They only care that their candidate gets in. If nobody else, nobody's going to win. I'm going home. I still can't believe when I made a simple analogy of take your ball and go home. I wasn't playing ball with them. I never played ball with a Trump supporter. Okay. You scared them away. Oh, it's... The pundits and the politicians are still not on board. Yet again, they refuse to see the obvious. And I kind of disagree with that because they are still, they're coming around and they're finally getting it through their heads. And they understand that we got to start coming together back as a party. We got to get it back together. We can't just keep going the way we are. It's not a good thing what our country's been through in this political process. This is not something I can remember for very long happening this bad. 2012 was bad with the Ron Paul bots, you know, and it seemed like, you know, Cruz and Trump and the supporters were getting along earlier in the campaign season. Rand Paul dropped out. And as expected, it seemed like his supporters, who were nasty, arrogant, mouthy, just everything wrong with the political issues. And it seemed like they gravitated straight towards Cruz. And I know there's Trump supporters that aren't that nice either. And I don't condone their actions. I don't see that as much because I'm busy dealing with the Cruz supporters and their nastiness. So I'm not trying to make excuses for anybody, but I'm dealing with one thing. I'm only one man. I can only do so much. But when I do see it, I do speak up. There's no need for this nastiness going back and forth because as some man you do not fucking know, you probably never met. You may have shook his hand or, touched him on the arm. You don't know him. You're not friends. You're not going to go have a beer with him. But yet you're going through this diehard, going to destroy a country for the man. That's just asinine. But the prediction market show Cruz craters after deal with Kasich. There's been a data analyst, and it's not looking too good. And Pence is not boosting him. Fiorini is not boosting him. Nothing he has done. I mean, it all stinks of desperation. Most people can tell that it's desperate moves. But the prediction market analyzes compiled show that Senator Ted Cruz crashed his standing in the state of Indiana when he cut a deal with Ohio Governor John Kasich, whereby Kasich ceded the state to Cruz. Prediction markets data shows that the Texas senator has not recovered since, despite several bold and aggressive moves, including naming a vice president candidate in the former Hewlett-Packard CEO Carly Fiorini, Pastorini, and a tippet endorsement from the state governor, Mike Pence. And that, from the governor, that was he seems like a man that doesn't want to upset anybody. I think Trump will do great as a president. I think Kasich is a great guy and he would do good. Cruz, I'm officially endorsing him, but I'm backing all three of those guys. There's nothing wrong with any one of those choices. It sounds like the man can't make a decision in his life and he doesn't want to upset anybody. And I'm sorry, picking Carly Fiorini, how many jobs did she outsource out of America? I understand as a CEO, you got to do that. But he has been attacking Trump on some of this stuff, and now he goes and picks up the same thing. This is also the same woman that was out there who said Trump's Trump, but Ted Cruz is a politician. He says one thing in New Hampshire, one thing in New York, one thing here, and he does something totally different. He's a politician, and he'll say whatever it takes to get a vote. That is from his vice president pick. And then on top of it, to find out that if it is a contested convention, Cruz does not get to pick who his vice president is. That's up to the convention. And it's not like the normal, oh, yeah, I want this one. Okay, we all vote. Yay. No, they go into a secret ballot and start picking who should be the vice president. So he's done some moves that just not looking too good for him. Not looking good at all. And yes, I know for the people, for whoever it was that came in here, it's daytime. I have Kel, who's in here regularly, but I don't get a lot of people coming in because it's daytime. I understand you got your work to do and all that. But just come on in, have some fun if you have the time. Come into the chat room. Just go to SHR Media, click on the chat room button. Just come on in. Just click on, you can come in anonymous. I don't care. Join the conversation. You want to tell me to fuck off? Go ahead. Jump on in. Tell me to fuck off. I don't mind. I like other people's opinion. Now, someone on Facebook got banned last night. You want to come in and post ridiculous memes, a meme, and tell me to fuck off? Fine. But when you start spamming spamming and spamming memes, I'm not going to let you overtake my boards like that. No. I don't care. You want to have opposing view, go ahead. But you're not going to sit there and spam. With that, we will be right back. And you are listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on High Plains Pundit Radio. And you can listen through YouTube, Spreaker, High Plains, and SHR. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying Kafka is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver. Yeah, what the heck's up? Something doesn't seem right. Something just... Cal, how does it sound? Don't ask me why. It just, all of a sudden, it just... Maybe it's just my hearing. Oh, no, I came back from break and everything just sounds a little bit... There we go. I think that... No... All right, maybe it's just me. It just sounds off. Sounded like I was almost in a tunnel. So, well, what I love is you get these people that get real mouthy, real aggressive on these chat boards. They're keyboard commandos. And what I find funny is most people in real life won't do that to my face. And it's even funnier because, as most people say, when they first meet me, they're scared shitless. But after they get to know me, they think I'm a big teddy bear. And it's like, ain't that either. So, but it's people are getting too brazen behind that computer screen lately. They think they could say everything with no repercussions at all. And that is not life. Oh, kitty, 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 kitty. I miss my cat. It's still sad. I had a Mancoon pure black, 6 toes on each paw up front. Oh, what was he? A polydactyl, I think it is. My wife actually would like to get another one, but she doesn't want another cat. But having the Mancoon, he's a big duster. And it was funny, at one point he gained so much weight that his stomach was dragging on the ground. Well, not totally dragging, but he had such fur, and he would walk. And if my wife didn't sweep the floor and we had a little dust or, little dirt on it, you would see the path of him walking as his stomach sways side to side. He would just like clean the floor. It was hilarious. That was when we were like, okay, he's got to go on a diet. Fat cat need diet. No more lasagna. Then it was funny because he ran the house. I have a Yorkie Poo and a German Shepherd, and he controlled the German Shepherd. That was the funny thing. My German Shepherd would walk right up, and my Mancoon, his name was Jinx, and he knew how to box, and he would bat you, and I mean, you would hear it. He would hit so hard, and my German Shepherd would stand there and I guess he thought it was amusing. He would, give those little barks and move his face around and get smack, 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 smack. And he thought it was funny as hell. But he knew when the Jinx was pissed off, and he would go to his corner and lay down. I miss my cat. Well, Target is not doing too good. Yesterday, last time I checked, I've heard some other stories, but $2.5 billion hit. Their little stand up to the bathroom issue has now cost them $2.5 million. Now, remember, this $2.5 million was because they were standing up for 0.03% of the country. My problem is not with the transsexuals, the cross-dressers, any of that. I am not saying they will be the one, because now they're trying to twist it and say, they're trying to say, oh, you people know. Most of us are not saying about that. But what that's now allowing is all these perverts to come out of the woodwork. It gives them an excuse to get in these bathrooms. And it's popping up all over the place. And it's not the transsexuals or the cross-dressers or any of them. That's not what's going on. And that's not what we predicted. It is the pedophiles, the rapists. They are getting in there. And there's nothing anybody can do, because you're allowing it. 1.1 million families have joined the AFA's Target boycott. Sandy Rios, the director of government affairs for the American Family Association, gave host an update on the AFA's Target boycott efforts, which has now gathered over 1 million signatures. 1,137,000 families have signed the boycott. Target stocks are dropping. They started to drop the day we announced this boycott. $2.5 million has been lost in stock alone, not including how many people stopped going to Target. And I'll tell you, I already stopped going to Target a long time ago when they said, we don't want you carrying any guns to protect yourself in our store. We want you a Target in our Target stores. No, I don't need to go shopping there then. I'm not going to make a big fuss. I just won't spend money. All this upheaval and putting people in danger has been because to appease to a 0.03% of the population. That doesn't make them less important. And I know people will bitch at me for it. I don't give a shit. You're gay, lesbian, transsexual. And you want to wear a fur mink coming out of your ass? Go right ahead. But when your choices in life start to affect my life, the safety of my family, that's when I care. I don't want anybody telling me what to do in my bedroom. I'll do what I want to do. The only one that gets to tell me what to do in the bedroom is my wife. I'll leave all jokes alone on that one, and we'll go on. It is not the transsexuals that I think are going to cause the issues. I never have been clarifying this statement to the word go. But the choices that are being made through that are now opening up the rapists, the child pedophiles. That is what I am talking about, and a lot of people are talking about. The liberals do not, they pick up these social issues that should have nothing to do on the fucking federal level. They pick up these issues, blow them up real big, and they don't look at the long-term effect. They never do. And when it's pointed out, those people are ridiculed for pointing out hypotheticals. Well, they've done it with the guns. They did it with the gay marriage. Listen, if I got to be tortured and married, everybody else should be tortured with marriage. I don't care about that. But what they did is in that ruling, the Supreme Court judge, I'm not arguing the ruling. I'm arguing how he worded it has now opened it up. It's now opened it up to other issues popping up. Other issues that have been pointed out. As I said, I'm not arguing the fact that gays can be married. I couldn't give a crap. I don't care. It's a commitment between two people. It's between those two people, that commitment. The federal government shouldn't have anything to do with whether I love my wife and want to spend the rest of my life with her or not. That is my decision and her decision, not the government's. So I know I'll get a lot of lambasted over that view. And I don't fall into the whole gay sex is, against the Bible. Because during a lot of that time frame of Jesus Christ, and I'm not saying Jesus Christ worked into this, but during that time frame, homosexuality, that was called homosexuality, but that stuff did go on a regular basis. I think sometimes we put too much emphasis on our sex lives in modern day. I think sometimes we have too many negative views towards it. I know Democrats that don't want to talk about this kind of stuff. No, you can't talk about that in public. Who gives a shit? It's natural. But when you open up these bathrooms and changing rooms, so all a predator has to say is, I identify as being a woman, and walk in there. Well, I identify with a 67-year-old man. Does that mean I can go on Medicare now and get Social Security and my pension and all that? I mean, everybody else gets to identify with who they want. I want to identify with a retired old man. I don't see the checks coming in, but it seems they're picking and choosing who they want to support within that realm of identification. And Target, these companies really need to stay out of these issues. They really need to stay out of them. And if they're going to do stuff like this, do it when it's not a huge issue. Because it's just going to ask for trouble with some of this stuff. But it's hard to say that because I agree with the Hobby Lobby and that they have a Christian value and they don't want to provide certain things because it's against their values. Well, there is alternatives that within that whole Hobby Lobby decision. It's not like all birth control was taken away. I think it was only 2 of them they objected to. Those plans offer other ways. And knowing insurance and knowing medical, if out of those 10, 2 of them are not allowed, and you end up being allergic to those other 8, guess what? The insurance will then cover the other 2, one of the 2. It's that simple. Our country is built on the state. And we don't see the state doing shit. The federal government is always stepping in. But when we ask for a federal reciprocation of firearm, then that's a big, no. They worry about that, but they don't worry about pedophiles and rapists going into female bathrooms. Chick-fil-A bit themselves in the ass. You're there to do business. Shut your mouth on the rest. When you want to talk about it in your personal life, but not in within your professional manner. Because the one thing that got jammed down my throat as an EMT, it doesn't matter what the hell I believe in. And I've noticed there's a lot of commentary now on internet radio, conservative commentary, and a lot of them are ex-firefighters and EMTs. Because the one thing that happened is, as a EMT firefighter, you got to keep your political opinion to yourself. You can't discuss it. For the simple fact, you got to remain neutral in everything. You're not allowed to voice, because then, well, he didn't save my husband because he's a Democrat and he's a Republican. You have to keep everything quiet. And I think a lot of times these businesses really need to, not the employees totally, but these higher ups need to just keep their mouth shut and keep out of the arguments of the public. Because you can get very easily on the wrong side of history and lose $2.5 billion in one day. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplansdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying coffee is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Socko as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplansdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I am your host with the most that's trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to be a part of the conversation, go to SHR Media, click on the chat room button. It's that easy. Actually, I'll send it again, but I did send you that MP3. It was a couple days later. I forgot I had a promo for the store, but let me just takes me a second. Oops, not faced. Hate when you type wrong. Right. And shot, you can't get on Reaver.one page. You have to spell out one. It's O-N-E, not the numeric. O-N-E, you got to spell it out. So, damn, why is it not working? That's supposed to be working. That's weird. All right. So anybody that's been trying to go to the site, it's Reaver, REAVER.ONE. I'll resend it again. That's really weird. Don't you hate when something's supposed to be simple and it's not? There we go. All right. And the only thing I don't like about the site for the store is the pages, to go through the different pages. It's only on top. So when you get to the bottom, scroll down to the bottom, you got to go all the way back to the top to click to the next page. And there's 4 different pages. So anybody going there, it's not just that first page, it's several pages. And all right. Let's get on with the show. I mean, we're on the last segment. And it's been a pretty good show. I don't often walk away going, hey, that was a bad show. A couple times, but no. And this goes to my issue right here. A video voyeur arrested for harassing women in Target. Police in Yulee, Florida are asking the public if anyone has been harassed in stores by a man asking an indecent question and recording them on video. Police arrested Jeff Polizzi after a woman posted a video of her own encounter with the man at a Target store. The woman posted her video and story on Facebook. And in her Facebook post, Speedy noted that she recognized the suspect as the same man who approached her at another local store 2 years ago. She said that the man used the same ploy the first time he met her. He began with chit-chatting about his wife and the clothing she liked to wear, using that topic to springboard into asking what Speedy was wearing down there. This guy is a huge creep, she wrote on Facebook. I'm not concerned about charges. I mean, I am, but I'm not concerned with I'm more concerned with his face getting out there and him being stopped. After the Target shopper confronted the man on her own video, police were called and they arrested Polizzi for video voyeurism. Police reported that the suspect has been charged with a crime in the past. Now, that guy could very easily get into the female bathroom and start doing the same thing because all he has to say is he identifies with being a woman. And that's where the issues come in. Let's see. And this, on Monday in Indiana, Republican presidential candidate Senator Ted Cruz said he's going to stay in the Republican presidential primary race for the distance. When asked if he intends to stay in the race until the GOP convention in Cleveland in July, Cruz said, I am in it for the distance as long as we have a viable path to victory. I am completing until the end. And the reason is simple. This isn't about me. Bullshit. It is about his ego. That's all it's about. He has no viable path at this point. The only thing he's doing, instead of Trump setting things up to combat Hillary, he still has to play fucking patty cakes with this mental midget Cruz. And if Cruz was actually worried about the American people, worried about the Republican Party, and cared about what the people had to say, he would understand and get behind Trump and say, let's defeat Hillary. It is a long path. And instead of being able to start fighting Hillary now, he is playing patty cakes. And he says it isn't about him. It is all about Cruz. Nothing more, nothing less. He's competing until the end. He is dragging it out and making the race worse. It's just weird. The hell? With that, I'm going to end a couple minutes early today. And I want to thank everybody for coming. So until tomorrow, I will see everybody then.
You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.